We are a team of techno-legal professionals who deal with the challenges faced by the construction industry. Today topic: EOT time-lapse delay analysis. Dear friends, in the earlier videos, particularly one named Contract for Beginners and the second named Time at Large, we started with the key component of a contract, which is time. Time, being the essence of the contract, has bearing on project completion if the obligations are not fulfilled by either of the parties to the contract. The obligation of the employer or the government. Authority mainly focuses on providing encumbrance-free land or clear workfronts to the contractor. Also, the government. Authority provides various clearances like environmental clearance, railways approvals for general arrangement drawings, etc. Similarly, the obligations of the contractor include securing various permissions and licenses like mining permissions, plant establishments, and financial tie-ups, etc. These obligations are normally termed as conditions precedent in the contract. Since the time defined in the contract is meant for a particular scope of works, any changes in scope lead to the change as extension of time and therefore, cost variations. Base program. This is an important document which is required to be submitted by the contractor before the start of any construction. Planning and monitoring by the government. Authority are all based on this program for measuring the performance of the contract. Another important aspect related to the base program is cash flows, which is very much linked to project milestones, which also has been already spoken about in an earlier video. It is very important to note here that the right to plan or change planning of the construction activities is the right of the contractor/concessionaire, and certainly planning does not rest with the government. Authority, unless the concept of ethos-pathos logos needs to be adhered to, as spoken in a relevant video earlier. Float's utilization from the programs. In project management, float, sometimes also referred to as slack, is a number that indicates the amount of time a task can be delayed without impacting subsequent tasks or the project's overall completion. Careful study and analysis of float is a must because, at the far end, the delay analysis is subjected to check for all such intricacies. Right-of-way/land acquisition, one of the major conditions precedents to be fulfilled by the government. Authority is procurement of site/land acquisition/right-of-way/clear workfronts to the contractor/concessionaire. These workfronts have to be provided to the contractor/concessionaire, clear from all encumbrances and hindrances like clear possession of land by full compensation paid to the project-affected persons, shifting of utilities, trees cutting, ROB, GAD drawings approval, etc. Although in construction projects on or before the appointed date, 80% right-of-way is stated as prime conditions precedents, but it is generally observed that this so-called 80% right-of-way is never free from utilities, trees, boundary walls like structures, disbursement to landowners, etc. Kala land records. It is always advisable to keep records of land disbursements by Kala, a state government. Authority, Revenue Department. 80% land, as stated in the contract, has to be handed over on/before the appointed date through inspection of the site and preparing a memorandum containing an inventory of the site including the vacant and unencumbered land, buildings, structures, roadworks, trees and any other immovable property on or attached to the site. Such memorandum shall have appended thereto an appendix, the appendix, specifying in reasonable detail those parts of the site to which vacant access and right-of-way has not been granted to the contractor/concessionaire. Once this key document is signed off jointly, it is very difficult to counter later that any part of 80% land was obstructed/encumbered/hindered due to various reasons, including the disbursement of payments to landowners/project-affected persons. Hence it is always advisable that the delays which are attributable to third parties and which are acceptable to the government. Authority due to late receipt of permission from concerned departments such as the Irrigation Department, Forest Department, Electrical and Water Utilities Department, etc. are used for an early approval/acceptance by the government. Authority. All foreseen encumbrances and hindrances, if not cleared by the government. Authority entitles the contractor/concessionaire for EOT by modifying its planning for execution on available clear workfronts. Hence, submission of the revised program on a regular basis is the basic need for EOT demand. All these obstructions/encumbrances/hindrances need to be recorded and conveyed properly to the government authority/independent engineer/government authority engineer in an analytical manner in tabular forms as hereafter explained. Let us discuss an example for a typical highway project having a total length of 90 kilometers, which is a combination of 25% as existing stretch for 22.5 kilometers and 75% as greenfield stretch for 67.5 kilometers. One original construction period is 30 months. Two bid project cost, BPC, is 1,000 rupees CR. In which road components is 70% and structures components is 30%. Three total project length of 90 kilometers has been divided into various sections of 15 kilometers each to tackle 3 sections at a time through 3 sets of resources for optimum utilization, such that each section requires 20 months for core completion, which is excluding 3 months each for mobilization and finishing, with a float for 4 months in the total construction period of 30 months. For row handed over on the appointed date is 80% of the project length, which is lengthwise 72 kilometers. This consists of a full existing stretch of 22.5 kilometers and part length from greenfield stretch of 49.5 kilometers. 5. Before we move further, it is important to explain here that the existing stretch for 22.5 kilometers was initially planned for construction inside irrigation canal at the tender stage, but after the appointed date, it came as to utter surprise that irrigation department will never ever allow construction inside canal. An entire strategy was, therefore, modified and corrected for construction outside canal without touching the canal structure, which was approved at a later date. 6. Hence, row handed over after 6 months from the appointed date is reduced to 49.5 kilometers, which is only 55% of the project length. 7. Please note the row for the existing stretch of 22.5 kilometers was handed over only after the government authority approved the modified proposal of the irrigation department, which is after 15 months from the appointed date. 8a. 5 months later, row for the balanced greenfield stretch for highway on 17.82 kilometers was handed over after 20 months from the appointed date. 8b. Also, row for greenfield stretch for structure on 0.18 kilometers, 90 meter each for 2 locations, was handed over after 36 months from the appointed date. Let's jump to the extension of time. 9. The first EOT was recommended by IE and approved by government authority mainly on account of the existing canal stretch, which was for 9 months. Thus, the cumulative construction period became 39 months. 10. The second EOT was recommended by IE and approved by government authority, which was for 7 months beyond the first EOT dates. This EOT for 7 months was inclusive of 6 months COVID period for Wave 1. Hence, the cumulative construction period got extended from 30 months to 46 months. 11. Concurrent and non-concurrent delays. During the execution of a construction contract, various unforeseen events causing delays in the completion of the works may occur. Such events may fall within the risks and responsibilities that the contract assigns to the contractor and government authority. However, sometimes, the contractor's delays take place concurrently with the government authority's delays, and this situation is known as concurrent delays. Here in the above example, the contractor has applied initially first EOT for 12 months, against which IE and government authority has analyzed and found that the delays attributable to the contractor on an interim basis were for 3 months, and thus IE has recommended EOT net for 9 months. Later, while evaluating the second EOT, IE finally analyzed the delays attributable to the contractor and arrived at the conclusion that in the light of concurrent delays attributable to both the parties to the contract, that is, government authority and contractor, net delays attributable to the contractor are nil, and the net delays attributable to the government authority in the second EOT are for 7 months. 12. Straight line approach or unitary method. For determining EOT for any part/length of the project, the government authority nowadays come up with the wrong concept of interpolation/extrapolation through the straight line method, which is absolutely incorrect and needs to be highlighted by focusing on key aspects of construction, resting on construction methodology, sequence of activities, structures, or highway components, etc. This is because the derivation of time required for a major bridge structure having a length of 90 meters, forming 0.1% of the project length on a project having a total length of 90 kilometers and a total construction period of 30 months, amounts to an extension for one single day, which is a gross mockery of the EOT/delay analysis method. Hence, in such cases, the minimum time required for structures like 12 months for ROBs needs to be taken into account for EOT determination on a factual basis instead of this ad hoc approach on a linear basis. There are other reasons as well resulting in the delays to the project requiring EOT. These are force majeure, delay in payments, change of scope approvals, etc. Delays attributable to the contractor/concessionaire, while evaluating EOT proposals by independent engineer/authority engineer and government authority, it is insisted on the details regarding delays attributable to the contractor/concessionaire, hence for a fair evaluation of net delays attributable to the government authority, the delay caused by the contractor/concessionaire on various accounts needs to be analyzed carefully. The reasons for delay attributable to the contractor/concessionaire are poor planning and scheduling, poor communication and coordination with subcontractors, poor procurement system management, poor site management and supervision, lack of safety rules and regulations, use of defective material and mistakes during construction, late payments to suppliers and subcontractors, late mobilization of manpower, materials and equipment, etc. However, in the event that the delay is owing to reasons attributable to the contractor, then, the government authority in most cases is entitled to receive liquidated damages stipulated under the contract, and in such an event, the contractor is entitled to receive time extension without any additional compensation. Recommendation by the independent engineer. As per the concession agreement, independent engineer has the responsibility to analyze the delays applied by the concessionaire for the extension of various project milestones and recommend to the government authority for its approval. Approval by government authority. As per the concession agreement, the approval of an extension of time is a must by the government authority, which passes through a series of tables from the executive engineer or the project director to the chief engineer or chief general manager as per the hierarchy of the government authority. Financial implications of EOT. For HAM projects, it is very important that the EOT is approved by the government authority, otherwise the concessionaire is liable to pay heavy damages as per the concession agreement, which are generally calculated at 0.1% per day on the amount of performance security for delay of each day until such project milestone is achieved, and at 0.2% from the 91st day of the amount of performance security for delay of each day until COD is achieved. Also, in the event of the project not being completed and COD does not occur within 270 days from the scheduled completion date unless the reasons for delay is attributable to government authority or due to force majeure, then the government authority shall be entitled to terminate the concession agreement. This means for a project having cost of Rs. 1,000 CR, damages can be Rs. 5 lakhs per day till 90th day and is Rs. 10 lakhs per day from the 91st day till the COD is achieved. For EPC projects, if EOT is not approved by the government authority, the contractor is liable to pay heavy damages as per the contract agreement, which are generally calculated at the rate of 0.05% of the contract price for each day of delay until such project milestone is achieved. Also, if the damages exceed 10% of the contract price, then the government authority shall be entitled to terminate the contract agreement. This means for a project having a cost of Rs. 1,000 CR, damages can be Rs. 50 lakhs per day till the project milestone/COD is achieved. In the following videos, we will elaborate more details on aspects of contract administration. For more details, please visit our website Dariani's Engineers and Associates Private Limited.